Thomas and Friends has had some spooky fan content on the internet, starting with Timothy the Ghost Engine, and still going strong to this day. But one fan series that has some pretty good scary elements that recently blew up somewhat like 2020, 2021, 2022-ish, is Sodor Fallout. Now, I have gotten a lot of requests for Sodor Fallout last year. Not really this year. And really, Sodor Fallout, the amount of videos that are just on Sodor Fallout that's fan-created seems endless.
Wait. There's my video.
And the amount of hate there is for it is very close to the amount that likes it. I must warn you that before we even start this video that there is some scary visuals that is used in Sodor Fallout that I can't really leave out because they're kind of important. So if you don't like stuff like mouths where they're not supposed to be, you will probably want to skip out on this video, and that's fine. But I'll give you 3 seconds to decide. For those of you who decide to stay, let's dive right into the review. Sodor Fallout was made by _frogs, or as they were known then, Tim and Thunderbolt. The prologue was made on October 28th in 2020. Now, the prologue plot has Edward's fireman writing in his journal he recently rediscovered. He talks about how Tom signed an agreement with the government for a nuclear power plant to be built between the docks and Sodor. Okay, who in their right mind would sign a deal for that? I guess when it's the government, you don't really have a choice there, now do you? Anyway, Edward's fireman talks about how that's going to affect tourism, which yeah, it'll probably affect that and house prices, I imagine, along with taxes. But besides the nuclear power plant, nothing really has changed. Then, 18 days pass, and a siren goes off. It's a little alarming, but once they know it's a drill, it's all good. And that's the plot for the prologue. The prologue is pretty weak, and it should have been combined with episode 1 in my opinion. And episode 1 is where stuff starts to go off rails. See what I did there? I made an engine pun. I hope you're proud of me. Episode 1 starts straight into the action. They were at Wellsworth when they hear a huge explosion. The sky went dark and a huge cloud was visible in the distance. Edward's driving firemen knew exactly what to do. They started their engine up and went as fast as they could, like any sane person would do in this situation. They passed Donald, who was heading towards the blast, carrying the goods. They later found out that Donald didn't make it, and neither did his crew. Okay, I'm sorry, but why didn't you use a warning whistle? You could have saved Donald and not felt like a jerk. You could have had a line in there that maybe said, you did a warning whistle, but Donald did not stop in time and ended up the blast hitting him, or, something like that, just to seem less of just, not caring. When they reach Crosby, the shockwave hits. It causes the glass to shatter and to rock the coaches side to side. Edward's front pony truck also derails, but they didn't stop until they reached Knapford. When they reach Knapford, they hear that the entirety of Brendam got blown up, and that a team was sent to deal with the radiation. It ends with Edward's fireman talking about how no one knows if it's safe to go out yet, and that he feels guilty for leaving Edward on the station, and he hopes Edward's alright. Episode 1 definitely leaves you wanting to know what will happen next. It has an air of mystery to it that makes you curious on how they're even going to deal with that situation. Then, as a follow-up, we got Tape 1, and Tape 1 is very disturbing. We hear a screaming and a distorted whistle and someone crying, and that someone is Trevor. The description for the video says that it's a VHS tape that was found in an orchard. The tape is unsettling for sure, but I don't really get why it's a thing. I don't get why it's of Trevor either. It's really just Trevor with disturbing sounds, but I think probably the point is that you're not supposed to understand it, at least just yet. But I don't think it ever gets revealed what happened to Trevor, so yeah. The next episode, which really isn't an episode, it's a clip, it's called We'll Meet Again, and it uses the song We'll Meet Again. And this song can easily be made creepy for whatever reason. I don't know why it has this effect. They even had Bill Cipher sing the song in Gravity Falls. The clip has Doug getting cornered Diesel 10 style, but seems to be by a possessed Oliver. Oliver slowly moves towards Doug, which is basically having someone or something slowly moving towards the character that's in danger, basically saying, no matter what you do, I'm gonna win. Then Oliver gets real close to Doug, and then it cuts to black. Also, Aaron and Bert seem to be dead, but I'm pretty sure they'll just shake it off. This clip was really neat. It definitely adds to the scariness of this episode. But before we go crazy trying to understand what Oliver is even doing, that's what the next episode is for. The next episode is called The 1411 Experiment, and the 1411 Experiment answers the questions we had about the prior episode for us in this episode. The episode starts off by saying that Oliver wasn't working. He got beaten up a bit by Ari and Bert. They talk about how they injected experiment 1411-2 with a dosage of something that we don't get to hear. Almost like they don't want us to hear it. The engine complains about nausea and pain internally. They put the engine to sleep to do further research. I'm guessing some time goes by because now we have experiment 1411-3. Ari and Bert have been tasked to block the engines from entering. They talk about how the experiment knocked over a flat car on its side in one swift movement. Then we get experiment 1411-4. The engine's phase has lost all circulation. They say that the new host seems to have taken over. Also, it can now lift itself off the ground. Oh, why? Then we get 1411-5 and that's new. They say that it's now getting hungry and one person was, a snack. They lured Ari and Bert into it. One of them was ripped in half and the other was killed instantly. Oh, so when we meet again, they weren't alive. Nature's just so beautiful sometimes. I think it's safe to say that this thing might be a little too dangerous for them to handle. This thing can rip solid metal in half. That's some talent. I mean, you gotta teach me your workout sometime. Then we got experiment 1411-7. This one went up against Diesel 10, only to have it rip off Pinchy, and he even apologized for being rude to steam engines. But then the experiment picked up Pinchy and shoved it in his face because the experiment is deadly. Then the experiment gets the nickname The Beast, which is pretty appropriate. Then we gotta follow up to the last episode and confirms that, yep, the Beast killed Duck. Then we see Toad, and it gets cut out before we get to know anything important about Toad. This was a pretty interesting episode. I actually liked this one. The others were just okay to me, and they were mainly just world building. But now, it's getting interesting. The next clip is called James Passing Through. It seems normal at first, but we hear, I'm guessing James's driver tell James to keep on going while James is screaming. We also see that Edward is alive, so hooray. Then we get a close-up of James and oh my, why does he have two mouths? Can he control one at a time, or is it both? Like, do you talk and it's just like both mouths speak? That would be very loud. You probably have so many questions on why James has two mouths now, but this is the series finale. Yeah, now we gotta talk about some real life stuff. When it comes to content creation, especially stories, it can just get pretty hard at times. When you start a story that then later on you have no desire to finish, it makes you feel kind of burned out and kind of just over it. And I think underscore frogs is just over Thomas and Friends, which is totally fine. People move on from stuff in life. Not to say Thomas is childish or anything, just because it's aimed at a child audience. And if the finale did come out, it probably wouldn't be that good, because frogs would feel rushed and burned out, and it probably wouldn't be a good finale. And plus, there's so much anticipation to wrap up all the things, probably need about 3 to 4 more episodes anyway. And I would rather just leave it up to my interpretation of what happened than to get my hopes disappointed when the finale would have ended up either bad or just felt rushed. Also, don't go ask underscore frogs for like a serious finale or like another set of episodes, because that's not the intention for this video. The intention is just to cover a series that's popular in 2020 to 2021. With that out of the way, go check out underscore frogs for the new content they're going to make that isn't Sodor Fallout related. That'll be it for this video, and if you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to me, because I make videos similar like this one. I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye, everyone.